Baloo, what is our third main topic today?
Main topic number 3 comes to us from Vallen Magnus, who says, "Hi, John. I think we all knew that CW wasn't exactly the best-run television network, but I don't know that any of us thought it was this bad. The Hollywood Reporter did a story showing that the network was losing $2 for every $1 they made. So they'd be making $400 million a year in revenue, but by the end of the year, they'd be showing losses of $400 million. How could a business carry on this way? What do you guys think?"
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And of course, some people are a little bit confused about what's going on with CW. Like some people thought CW was just kind of shut down. No, CW is still a thing. It has the same owners. It's just that one of the owners, who was like a little tiny minority owner, is now the 75% majority owner of it. They bought a bunch of the ownership away from Warner Brothers and others. But Warner Brothers and others still have like 12.5% ownership each. But anyway, it's still there. It's still running. But because of the sale, right, the books come out. People are able to look at the books. And while all of us knew that CW was not the most profitable network out there, they make low budget shows, whatever, I don't think a lot of us understood how badly it was hemorrhaging money. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety, who wrote the following. From Hollywood Reporter. According to a Hollywood Reporter analysis of the financial statements that were included in Nexstar's latest quarter, that Nexstar is the company now is the majority owner of CW, that were included in Nexstar's latest quarterly filings with the SEC on November 9th, the CW had revenue of about $100 million per quarter in 2021 through 2022 for an annual run rate of $370 to $405 million. That's what their revenue was. However, it had annualized losses between $300 million and $400 million. That means that $400 million they made was gone, and then another $400 million was gone. So the 2-to-1 ratio. In other words, for every dollar it took in, as many as $2 were flowing out. The CW has never turned a profit since being formed in 2006. The largest source of expenses for the CW was programming, and it acquired that programming from Warner Brothers and Paramount, making it economical for the joint owners. Now, to really highlight how bad of a situation this was and is. Now, first of all, most people in the industry are like, wait a minute, it's never been profitable?
Yeah.
So Warner Brothers and Paramount could operate CW also as a little bit at a loss because they could use some of that for tax purposes and tax shielding. Still, they never wanted it to be that bad. And here's how bad it was. Rob, let's say, I don't know, I'm going to sell you this bottle of aviation gin. The problem is it's used. I lick the cap a lot, and it's half drank. So I'll probably sell it to you for a discounted price, and you would buy it. Maybe I'd have to drop it to $2, maybe $4, whatever. But we'll find a price that works for you, right?
I can't call Mint Mobile and ask them to ship me a case of it.
No, unfortunately, we can't.
Okay.
What would not happen is in our negotiations for this John Saliva drenched aviation gin bottle is you cannot say, you can offer me $10, $5, $4, we'll figure out a price. What cannot happen is you can't come to me and say, hey, John, how about you give me $20 and I'll take that bottle off you. That is what happened with CW. Nexstar, who is now the de facto title owner of CW, they actually made $45 million out of this deal. In other words, Warner Brothers and Paramount ended up giving Nexstar $45 million to take the company off their hands. Now, again, it isn't as cut and dry as that, and the Hollywood Reporter article does kind of point out that it's a little bit more complicated than that, but they say at the end of the day, that's what it was. At the end of the day, when all the accounting is done, Nexstar actually got paid to take CW and to become the main owners of that. That's not good. No. That is run like that. But again, it kind of highlights why then Warner Brothers and Paramount wanted to divest themselves of this thing. It gives them one less outlet and avenue to sell their content on. And it sounds like Nexstar is going to keep, the current CW programming for the next year, but then they're going to move on from that and acquire other programming. I don't know, Rob, you hear about this. What are the parts that stand out to you?
Well, at least we're getting another season of Riverdale, right? Or it gives new meaning to the I want my $2 back. But no, I think that this is something people don't understand, that it's not as easy as you might think to make money in the entertainment business. And this is a shocking example of why. You know, it's not so easy and it's not so cut and dried. People keep this around, like you pointed out. It's not bad to always have a loss leader, tax loss, a way to defer your costs or whatever. But look, at the end of the day, what's really unfortunate is the budgets of these shows did not affect the fact that a lot of these creators are trying to make great programming. You know, and great programming it's always beholden to the parent companies or who's paying for it, or aren't they making money. And we've reported on how many people watch CW shows. Not a lot. You know, some of those numbers are shocking compared to other shows.
Yeah, I think they said Stargirl, whereas, you know, Yellowstone, for comparison, its debut episode had 12.1 million viewers, which is astronomical. I think Stargirl, the report we read, said it was an average of 250,000.
Yeah, I mean, look, the days of all of these shenanigans, the streaming world has really opened this up to there's a foundation of sand with a lot of this stuff. And we're going to see a lot more of this kind of thing, maybe not to this extent, but there's going to be a lot of things changing in our business in the next 5 years.
Chris, there's a lot of information here, a lot of numbers being thrown around, but when you look at the CW situation, what aspect of this is standing out to you the most?
I mean, the operating at a loss this whole time is just kind of mind-blowing, but then it's not when you look at the numbers, right? There have been times where we've talked about this, where more people have collectively tuned into this show than The Flash.
It's really weird to think that way, yes.
Which is a major bummer in a way of like, oh, thanks for watching us, but also like they have like a whole budget and team of people doing things. Guys, they're really trying over there in Canada. Let them do it. They're making magic. I mean, this has been a long time coming, right? The writing's been on the wall for a long time. People have not been tuning into these shows. A lot of their programming is canceled after just one season or canceled preemptively before we even see the end product of things. Most of their flagship programming fizzled out too. Superman and Lois really is the only thing that's still kicking.
And isn't that getting moved over to HBO?
I believe so. And, you know, there's really just nothing worth watching on there anymore, except for Nancy Drew, which you can see January 6th with Aaron Cummings.
Yeah, so Aaron Cummings run starting out. And listen, let's not pretend. CW has had some incredibly big wins that will be considered, like Smallville. People love. I was just talking about Supernatural. I love Supernatural.
It had a great run.
I was never a fan of it myself, but Gossip Girl was a big culturally relevant show for a very long. I mean, they have had some very, very big. The Arrowverse, when it started, when Arrow was going and when Arrow and Flash were kind of in their height, they've had some really, really big wins. So it's not like it's been a complete dumpster fire all the time.
No, but in the last 2 years, we've seen things just go downhill in terms of programming.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this whole situation? Are you surprised to hear how much money CW was actually losing, that they were only making as much as they were? What stands out to you about some of the great things about CW? Anyway, whatever you guys think, jump into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, should be your go-to when betting on the NFL this holiday season. With things like same-game parlays, easy and fast payouts, player props, and more. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. And check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Just go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, total points, and more. The more legs you add, the bigger the boost, the bigger your shot to win big. Personally, I like the Rams to pull off a big upset win over the Chiefs next weekend. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code Campea. Place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code Campea. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.